Hey everyone, welcome back to the relaunched Sports Parents University 4-year roadmap. I'm your host, Coach Mark Nolan, and today we're entering the most misunderstood, most overhyped, most pressure-packed year in the entire high school athletic journey. And yes, I'm talking about the junior year. This is the year where everything suddenly gets real. We're talking grades, showcases, summer camps, college lists, recruiting interest, coaches evaluating, and yes, parents spinning plates like it's the old Ed Sullivan show. And speaking of spinning plates, if you missed the metaphor, parents are spinning schools, they're spinning sports, they're spinning training, they're spinning social media, spinning stress, spinning the athlete's emotions, and spinning their own expectations. And most of those plates, they're up there wobbling. So this is what we're calling the year of truth. It's the year where you find out if your athlete's core GPA is actually strong enough. You discover if your athlete's body can handle the workload. You learn whether your athlete's communication skills are real or are they just emojis. You'll uncover whether recruiting interest is real or just marketing trying to get you to that next camp. This is where potential either becomes performance or becomes just wishful thinking. So in this section, the first section, we're going to call it Just Say No. It's just say no with the K-N-O-W. Now, you've heard me say this before, and it's now officially part of our branded part moving forward. Just say no. Junior year is full of decision points, but you cannot make good decisions unless you know what's real. And here are some examples. Just say no. You got to say no to knowing your athlete's real academic standings. Just say no. Which ACT and SAT date will they actually take? And just say no whether that dream school is even remotely a fit. Just say no that flying across the country for a camp may be a waste of time, energy, and money. Just say no whether they're actually prepared for a showcase or if they're hoping for magic. As someone said 1,000 times, hope is not a strategy, knowing is. And in this section, we're going to talk about the athlete's responsibility because it really does skyrocket here. Here's where I am very blunt. Junior year is when mom and dad, you got to stop being the engine and the athlete has to start driving the bus. This includes their own emails to coaches, their own communication, and no, for the 1,000th time, texting is not talking. Getting their own class choices, their own summer training schedule, their own highlight film timeline. Your athlete must become the CEO of their recruiting journey. And ChatStars, as I call it, becomes the co-pilot. And this is where I'm going to talk a little bit about this hybrid model I came up with a while back. And let me make something very clear right here in the junior year. ChatStars, what I'm calling it, is an incredible tool, which is ChatGPT. It helps you structure emails, organize rules, draft communication, build lists, prepare questions, and it does it fast. And you know it does. But, and this is an important but, ChatStars does not replace experience. It does not replace judgment. It does not replace 51 years of helping families navigate this impossible recruiting maze as I have. There are things AI just can't do. It can't read a coach's tone. It can't tell you if an offer is real or not. It can't evaluate your athlete's emotional maturity. It can't know when to push or when to pause. It can't sense real red flags from a college program. And it can't help you protect your athlete from today's recruiting traps. That's where I come in, quite frankly, and it's one of the greatest things I can offer. Not hype and my head turned sideways or backwards, but real proven experience over these 51 years in helping athletes and parents through this maze. Junior year is when weekly or monthly check-ins become critical because one wrong decision can cost you opportunities you'll never get back. So yes, use ChatStars or ChatGPT every day. Use it to stay organized, prepared, informed, and confident. But pair it with the human element, like my live sessions, my guidance, and our structured recruiting prep calls, where we turn information into strategy and strategy into results. AI accelerates the process. Experience protects the process. Together, you're going to be unstoppable. And let me talk about being unstoppable and this whole multi-sport myth for you juniors and seniors out there. And it's a big one because in both the junior and senior years, it exposes this faster than any other year. The myth that your athlete must play multiple sports to be a well-rounded recruit, you just got to say no, K-N-O-W. Look, I attended 3 national signing days just the other day for 3 kickers I've trained for years. All Division I athletes, all receiving full ride scholarship support, all walking into strong NIL opportunities. And you want to guess how many played a second sport? 0, not 1, because they knew where their opportunity lived. They knew the sport that mattered. They knew the game they wanted to master, and they committed to it fully because they started to prioritize in their junior year what they wanted to do. And I helped them on this path so that in their senior year, I used the term clarity beats chaos. And that's what they were. Specialization beats distraction. Intentionality beats busyness. So just say no to what really matters for your athlete's future. And speaking of future, this is where I talk about the chat stars and ChatGPT. This is where I see our new AI teammate enters the conversation for what I called Chat Stars 2 episodes ago, and why this really does matter. Parents and athletes, you are now living in a world where ChatGPT is becoming one of the biggest tools in the recruiting space. And if you don't believe me, it's out there every day. Junior year is the first year where using it becomes a competitive advantage. Just ask Chat Stars. Ask them these things. Help me write an email to a college coach. Create a list of 15 schools that match my academic major and athletic level. Help me prepare talking points for a phone call with a Coach Smith. Why? Because your athlete must learn communication skills. They must learn initiative. They clearly must learn how to speak like a young adult. As we talk about the young adults and everything else, we got to put this whole college list into reality check. This is the year you narrow the focus. Parents, listen to me. You're not choosing a conference. You're not choosing a logo. You're choosing a fit. I don't care if it's D1, D2, D3, NAIA, or JUCO. If it's the right fit academically, athletically, financially, socially, that's where your athlete will thrive. And junior year is the year you build a realistic list based on an academic fit, the athletic readiness, the financial positioning, geography, personality, playing time opportunities, and yes, we use Just Say No to eliminate those fantasy schools. I know Uncle Ed and Aunt Harriet and Grandmama and Grandpa will disagree with me, but I'm just letting you know. These are fantasy schools that aren't going to happen. So speaking of fantasy schools, this is where we talk about the Twilight Zone factor. The guy that came from Rod Serling, where you're about to enter another dimension. A dimension where the NCAA changes rules weekly. The transfer portal is swallowing freshman scholarships. NIL collectives are prioritizing transfers over high school kids every day. Coaches are offering walk-ons if they have any instead of scholarships. And roster caps shift like shadows. So this is why junior year requires clarity. Because the college landscape looks nothing like it did just 2 years ago when I first launched the Sports Parents University. So let's talk about camps and showcases. The truth is, this is the year parents overspend more than any other year, if you can believe that or not. Showcases, camps, ID events, and most athletes are not ready. Let me be honest. If your athlete isn't physically ready, isn't mentally ready, hasn't trained properly, isn't consistent in their performance, then the only thing a camp will show is that they weren't prepared. So again, just say no. KNOW. And let's talk about the reality check from a standpoint of academics. Junior year grades are the most important grades on a college application. If academics fall apart, recruiting falls apart. Period. So here's an action plan for you. Here are your junior year non-negotiables. You got to know your core GPA. You got to register for that ACT, SAT, and set the date in stone. You got to build or revise your college lists. You got to create your highlight film before summer. And you got to learn how to talk to coaches, not just texting them. Use ChatGPT, ChatStars to help write emails and prep communications. Plan camps strategically, not emotionally. Balance training, school, social life, and rest. Or yes, those plates will fall and crash. So in closing, parents, the junior year is where panic meets possibilities, where hype meets reality, where dreams either accelerate or they stall. And the difference between success and struggle is whether you and your athlete can just say no. Know the truth, know the fit, know the plan, know the expectations, know your numbers, know your readiness, because junior year is the year of clarity. And please do me a favor, stick with us because senior year is where everything comes to a head. And I'll see you next time in the next episode on our Sports Parents University podcast. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.